All right, welcome everybody to She builds, she owns, she invests, she is me, she's you, she's all of us here. We're gonna give them a couple minutes to get started, to have others lady joining. I think we have some technical difficulties, sorry about that, but for those who are here, welcome. So she is on a mission to help 1 million women create wealth through real estate while fostering personal, professional, and spiritual growth. So welcome and thank you for joining us on this mission. We're live on Facebook. We would love to see your faces if you're working, if you are making dinner or whatever. We would love to see your face, smile. We are on camera. A little disclaimer, we're a real estate investment firm. We offer investment opportunities. Every investment has a risk. Every speaker that we bring offers different products or services. We do not endorse any of them. We invite them because we want to learn from them. We want to just be friends with them, right? So do your due diligence. Okay, a little bit about She and Massive Capital. Well, She was brought to you by Massive Capital. As I mentioned, we are a commercial real estate investment firm. We do pretty much everything about commercial real estate, from buying the assets, operating them. We also have a sister company called Realty One, where all they do is new construction for retail centers, more like lifestyle centers. So combined, we are proud to say we have over $500 million of assets under management. And then at Massive Capital, we are also vertically integrated. We have the fund, we have the triple net brokerage, we have the triple net property management company, the land development, the triple net construction, and we also have Massive Masters for people who want to start buying real estate, doing their own deals. This is what it is for, right? Where pretty much the principals take you under the wing so you can start buying commercial real estate assets. I'm proud to say that I'm the only woman at the equity team. So this is a little bit about us. This is a little bit about our portfolio, and this brings investment opportunities for people like you and I, right? People who want to start putting their money to work, either just cash that we have on savings account or a retirement account, or just, the point is that we want to start putting our money in something other than the bank. So if you want to learn more about that, please book a call with me. I'll be more than happy to explain a little bit more about what we do, who can invest. And today Aneesa is gonna talk a lot about that. We're gonna kind of like build our roadmap for real estate investing. But thank you for joining. Just remember, we are here the first and the third Tuesday of every month, where we have different speakers, right? Where we have webinars that are gonna add value to us, either personally, professional, and spiritually. The second and the fourth Tuesday, Trevor hosts webinars about commercial real estate. So pretty much every Tuesday we have something going on at Massive Capital. Be sure to join. We have a sponsor, Skydle Line Title. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or just do any real estate transaction, it's important to have a title company that understands real estate transactions and real estate from the investment lenses. So check them out. They have locations everywhere in the country or most of the states. So if you're looking to buy or sell, be sure to have a strong title company on your side. We go to different locations. We are traveling around, just meeting you guys. It's important to see each other, but most important is that you guys get to meet each other, right? I tell people you are one connection away from a completely different life. My story and my life changed from one connection. So I hope that you guys find strong relationships in this community, either online or in person. Whenever you get a chance, join us in person for different events. These are some pictures of New York, Dubai, Idaho, Florida, Houston, everywhere. We go everywhere. So um, just to stay connected. A little bit about real estate and why do I invest in real estate? So number one is cash flow. We want to make sure that we have different streams of income. I think on today's world it's very, very dangerous just to have one source of income. So real estate offers different source of income, offering quarterly cash flow or monthly cash flow depending on the asset. So, whatever we're doing, either working on our businesses, growing our business, traveling the world, raising families, whatever we want to do, we just need to make sure that we have a strong source of income. So that's one. Number two is long-term appreciation. Have you guys ever seen real estate going down, or that you bought a property today and in 5 years you're gonna sell it for less? Most likely 98% I will say no, especially if you have a strong location, right? So the beauty about real estate is that your money grows, it's gonna appreciate. So 81% of women keep their wealth in cash and just in the bank, and that was me. I was just saving money, and I was making 0.001% at the bank until I bought my first piece of real estate. So leverage is another very important piece here, and is that you don't have to understand everything, you don't have to do everything. You just leverage the teams, you just leverage the people. I couldn't be doing this by myself, and I will never be able to own a portfolio of 1,400 units across Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, and Colorado just on my own, right? So we leverage people, we leverage teams. We don't have to understand everything, we don't have to do everything. We just have to have the right people doing it. And that's what we do with Massive Capital. We do all the heavy lifting on buying and operating these assets. Number two is diversification. Just probably you have here, right? Like, don't put all your eggs in one nest. It's important to diversify even in real estate, right? That's why we offer in different asset classes. Now we're offering RVs, senior living, that they have each real estate asset has different strategies, different returns. But that's why I really like to connect with each of you, because everybody's in different journey, everybody has different needs and plans, right? Financial plans. So if that's something that you want to learn, again, just book a call with me. No commitments. Let me just tell you a little bit more about what we do. Last but not least, tax benefits. It doesn't matter how much money you make, but how much money you keep. Real estate offers strong tax benefits, especially multifamily. At the end of the year, we send you a K1 where pretty much it shows all the paper losses on the property that you can just use to offset your income. Again, every person is different, and I'm not a CPA. I do have a lot of good CPAs on my team, but if you want to learn more about how you can start using all the tax benefits and not pay taxes from a legal way, just book a call with me and I'll explain more. Awesome. Well, I'm super excited for today's speaker. It's super inspiring to have her because she is super young. She's 25, just like me. And she is building her digital marketing agency. She's learning, doing a lot of amazing things. And we're just going to talk about her roadmap to start investing, right? Like, what it will take for somebody just like her or any of us to start building real estate, right? Like, I will talk about how I started building, and we will just have a fun conversation. So Aneesa, welcome to She.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here and talk more. I have so many
Absolutely.
questions.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna have so much fun today. So First of all, I want you to tell us a lot about yourself. I know you're doing so much. You're so young. It's super inspiring to see all the things that you are doing. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Sure. So I'm a filmmaker, I'm a producer and a media manager. Born and raised in New Jersey, I studied abroad for college, and now I work at an impact investment fund as a communications associate. So finances have kind of been in the back of my mind for a bit, and I'm trying to get a better understanding.
Absolutely. Quite how do you start on the digital side of marketing and all that part?
Yeah, so I started off kind of getting my base education when I studied abroad. And then when I moved back to New York, I just fell in love with so many different types of media that I wanted to be involved in every different way, from drafting the writing of it to directing it to making sure the logistics and the production happen to make sure it's marketed properly. So a product from start to finish when it came to film, an ad, or someone's social media. It's just something I wanted to be a part of. So I've mastered each role. And because I've mastered each role, I then kind of created Aneesa Talks, which is my film production and media consultancy. So I get hired to be a film consultant on a lot of independent films. They kind of come to me and they say, these are the problems we have, or these are the holes in our project. Can you figure out how to fill them? And I do my best. So yeah, I just started work like that. I also work with comedians. I do a lot of people's social media accounts, and I do ghostwriting as well, too.
Wow, yeah, it's kind of like the one stop behind the scenes, right? To deliver a message or a product. So that's super exciting. For how long you've been doing this?
Um, I've been working since I was like 15, but probably like really like maybe 5 years, 5, 6 years.
Yeah, you're super young. Okay, well, it's good. You started soon, so that's why you have these results so early in life. You know, when we all the speakers that we have here is like all of them agree. Like, I wish I had started sooner. So you are rocking. So okay, so now let's I'll take you. I'll let you just ask me any questions. I know you say finance has been kind of like on your in the back of your mind. Of course, that you're interested about learning, and a lot of people here. Some of them are investors, some of them are looking to start, and just real estate is super broad and finance overall. So I'll let you ask me any questions, and let's take it from there.
Yeah, so because I'm a filmmaker and my full-time job is also a nonprofit, I'm not making a lot of money. So I need to figure out how to manage it so I can accrue more money over time through investing. But I'm kind of scared. It's also been only 4 months since my first full-time job started. When is the right point for me to start investing and how much money do I need?
Great question. So okay, so the first I'm gonna break it in three different parts, right? Because it's a lot. So one is like, how much, when is the right time to start investing, right? And how much money do I need? I will say it depends on where you want to start investing, right? Like, I can tell you right off the bat, like, if you want to invest in a commercial real estate asset like the ones that I mentioned before, the minimum is 50,000, right? So if you don't have that, then probably you can't start investing. But on the flip side, I want to tell you how I started, right? Because when I started, I was just working a lot, just like you. And you mentioned, like, how do I manage my money? How do I start investing? So I'm going to tell you from personal experience. I was saving money because I knew, one, I wanted to start my own business, and two, I didn't want to always be working for somebody else, right? So I kind of wanted to build my own business, and I was saving money just by living under my means, budgeting, just really looking at the higher picture, right? Like, I remember all my friends from college living in high rises and traveling all around the world and doing all these things. And I was just here working a lot and saving money. And I'm like, well, I really want to do that. But I hear, I don't know if he's a rapper. His name is Rick Ross, and he talked about like, I want to be rich for sure, right? Like, yeah, I of course I can afford to go on a trip on on a trip this year and do all these things, but what if I don't do it this year and I save my money so I can for sure do it, later on the years, and I'm not sweating about the tab, I'm not stressed about the job and the income, right? So that applies to everything in life. Like, I want to do it for sure, right? So on the early years, I was very lucky to have my dad as a mentor, to that have my dad as a business owner who said like, whatever you're gonna need, whatever you're gonna do, you're gonna need money. And nobody's gonna give you that money, right? Like, nobody's gonna fund your business unless you have I mean, yeah, of course there are investors and you can get angel investors and all that. I'm not gonna get to that, but you have to, even on Shark Tank and all these parts of investors, like, they invest in people. They want to see what you have done before you have the money. If you come and you pitch a business idea and you say like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, the first question and the first thing that they're gonna look is like, okay, what have you done, right? It's not like, give me the money and I'm gonna do this and that, because everybody can do that. So, just to frame everything, one is saving money. Like, unfortunately, there's no quick road to that, right? Like, we gotta build some, so build some cash that later on it will give us more opportunities, right? Either to invest in our business, make that money grow by investing in our business. Like, to me, I bought my first piece of land. I was working, saving money. I bought my first piece of land. I had 45,000, right? And I'm like, this is enough to do something. So bought my first piece of land for 40,000. And then later on, I sold it because it wasn't a good deal. I paid higher than anybody else in the neighborhood and it wasn't really good. So I sold it for 45. And what I did after that was do it over and over and over again, right? Like, I bought another piece of land, sold it, bought another one, sold it. Like, I continue doing that. Like, I'm gonna close on another one next week. So that's what gave me the confidence and made sure my money worked for me while I was exploring all these things in real estate. And also, most important, that's what gave me kind of like the luxury to start exploring commercial real estate, because I want to address the other question that you asked, like, when is a good time for me to do it? For example, in commercial real estate, like, if you don't have a strong income either from your business or your job, like, it's very dry at the beginning. Like, for the first 5 years, the returns are not enough to pay for your bills, lifestyle, travel. So if you don't have that source of income, I will say don't do it yet, right? Because it's very dry, but it's for the long term. Like, we're investing here for the long term. Like, what I tell people is like, let's say you invest 50,000 today, it turns in 100. 100 after 5 years turns in 200. 200, you reinvest them 400, 800, 1.6 million, right? So that's what we aim to do, like, build wealth on the long term. But in the meantime, we need a business to bring cash to pay for the bills, to pay for everything else. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it answers so much. It's like really helpful. I was really just about to bet on a random app. So that was really interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. Um, in the term of like real estate, like, yes, you can invest in real estate, but I hear a lot of horror stories about landlords and tenants and a lot of issues. If I don't want to get involved in that, what is another alternative that's safe and reliable for me?
Yeah, That's exactly why I got a real estate in just land right at the beginning. So put myself, like I was in your shoes 10 years ago. No, less than 10 years ago. I'm 32. And I was like, okay, what should I do? First of all, I don't want to deal with tenants. I don't want to deal with contractors, another real estate investment opportunities, buying a house and fixing it and selling it, right, for profit. I didn't want to deal with contractors. I didn't want to deal with tenants. So for me, what worked at the moment was just buying a piece of land, right? Like I'm like, if anything, I own this parcel, right? Like nobody's gonna tell me anything. Like I own this real estate. It's just gonna go up in value and it doesn't require anything. However, that was a higher investment. But other things that you can start investing, I will say the first thing to start investing is in knowledge, right? Understanding how things work. Because, I tell about the first piece of land that I bought, and this was a huge lesson early, in the beginning. I bought it. I said, I have money. I have 45,000. I want to buy a piece of real estate. So I called the local broker and I told him, and he's like, well, yeah, let me send you some. He sent me 5 pieces of land, and he doesn't think as an investor, right? He's just like, this is what is available. Tell me which one you want. I'll put the offer. And it was very quick. It was a very quick transaction. But the lesson that I learned is we have to take responsibility of understanding what we're doing, learn, right? Because I mean, I'm pretty sure he had good intentions, but he doesn't think as an investor. He's not thinking that if I'm paying that higher than anybody else in the neighborhood, if I have to sell, it's gonna be so hard for me to sell because I'm already paying high price, top dollar, right? So that's just as basic as that, right? Good thing, I mean, my piece of land was in a really good location. I was able to make $5,000, and thank God. But like that's a lesson that we have to learn. Like the first investment probably is in knowledge.
No, I think that's super valuable. And there's so many layers to it, like you're explaining. So I was wondering, for someone that has no knowledge whatsoever, what is a good starting point for them to kind of get to a point where they can invest confidently? What are some resources that they could use or easy ways to get into the market?
I was always tell people it doesn't really matter where are you investing, what kind of asset you're investing, but the most important thing is who you are investing, right? Because let's say you say like, I don't want to do it on my own, like I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the money to buy a whole property on my own. I want to do it with somebody else, right? So we go back to what I talked at the beginning, like leverage. Like we're gonna use somebody. Let's say you say, okay, I'm gonna invest with somebody else. The most important thing is getting to know people, getting to understand how they operate, their track record. It doesn't matter what you're investing, but who you are investing. Like the reality in commercial real estate is that there's always surprises and there's always struggles and challenges. Yeah, we do a very, very deep underwriting and financial analysis and a lot of analysis, behind the scenes to say we're going to purchase this property because it's a huge property, right? Like we're talking about a property of 10 million, $50 million. So there's a lot of behind the scenes and before we purchase, right? However, there's always surprises, like just what happened last year on the market, interest rates skyrocket, insurance, all those things that nobody was expecting, right? So that's just one thing, right? But there's always surprises. So what you wouldn't know and what you need to be sure is who you're investing with, how strong the team is, what have they done, right? Like when you start kind of like exploring real estate and you connect with a lot of people, everybody has the best deal. Like you hear it and it's like, yeah, I'm doing this and it's amazing. Everybody has the best deal in the world. But you also want to look at what they have done. Is this your first investment? Is this the first time that you're investing? Have you lost money? For how long you have been in business? You know, all these things, like asking hard questions and understanding like this is your money. Like you gotta protect it. For me, it's like I'm not losing a dime of this money because I worked so hard. You know, I was saving money for years to be on that point. So I was like, I need to make sure I'm, doing the right thing. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really great advice. Thank you so much for sharing. I think my last question would be, I work a lot of jobs at the same time, and I don't necessarily have a lot of time. For people who are trying to make money as they're trying to earn it through investments, how do you balance your time out without giving up your passion?
And that's exactly what we do, right? This is totally passive for investors. Like, like I say, understand what you're doing and, you got to understand the model that we have. But at the same time, like, it's important that you work on, on your business, on what you're doing. This is totally passive. So you put your money and we do the heavy lifting. We're gonna find the property, we're gonna operate it, we're gonna be dealing with tenants, we have property managers, we have contractors, we have everything, right? We have a very strong finance team just analyzing all these numbers. So for investors, for somebody like you, it's just like, here is my money and just let me know when is my first check coming in, right? We do everything. So that's something that you want to look into because, you know, at the beginning, you're going to focus on what you're good at, right? And if you're going to start learning the whole game about real estate, I mean, it's just like starting a new career again, right? But if in this business you're getting traction, you're getting your contracts, you're scaling, like you already mastered something, so the next thing for you to do is to scale that business. How do you become better? How do you bring more people? How do you hire people, get more contracts and all that? How do you scale that, right? Like how do you go from 1,000 to 10,000, from 10,000 to 100, to 1 million in revenue and so forth, right? And putting all the systems in place. But at the same time, like you just want to make sure your money start working for you while you are focused on this because this is what you're good at. And I think I have seen that a lot as a mistake, right? Like, okay, I'm building a business. This is great, but oh, real estate looks actually really sexy. Is the shiny object. Let me get into that. I see a lot of people being successful on that. Let me get into that. Yeah, it is good, just like everything else, right? Like whatever you're doing, it's good. There's a lot of business on every business, like from a restaurant to digital marketing to all kind of industries, but you just become really good when you're good doing what you're supposed to do, right? So if you're already scaling this business, focus on that, your sales, your marketing, your systems, your leadership, and then you start kind of like on the background and start, you make sure your money start working for you.
Thank you so much. This has been so helpful and one of my favorite conversations of the week.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for these great questions because I know a lot of people have these questions, right? And it's sometimes people don't ask the questions, or so I'm so glad that you're speaking up. And why do you think it's important? I also hear about that you focus a lot on the Asian community, and Middle Eastern community. Why do you think it's important for women to start looking into finance, to start looking into building a business?
Well, in the industry I'm in, we don't get funding or financing a lot for our films because we platform minorities, we platform women. So sometimes you just need to take it in your own hands and come up with the capital to fund your own projects and endeavors. And I think real estate is the exact way to do that.
Absolutely. Um, I think that's a huge reason why real estate brings a lot of people together, because real estate allows us to, work on where your heart is, right? Like do either social work or foundations, doing all these things or things that we're passionate about, right? But real estate provides us the freedom and the returns, right? The capital to do what we want to do. And what would you advise to just other young women like you to start looking into their finance?
Yeah, I would say do what I'm doing. Attend one of these seminars, look into getting books, do your research. Don't be afraid to ask questions that make you feel like you're dumb. It's okay. You can just ask what certain things are and just learn. And with the artificial intelligence that we have these days, it makes it easier than ever to ask dumb questions in private. So just educate yourself. It's never too late, and it's good to get a head start.
Absolutely, absolutely. Never too late, and the sooner that you can start, the better. Um, but also, it's important because, for example, right, you're 25, and you say like, okay, I can invest right now, but at least you start looking at the bigger picture. And you like, and for a lot of us, right, I have a lot of investors who is like, I can't invest right now, but at least I will say like your third eye open and you say like, oh, you're telling me that it's possible. Like for me, the I when my third eye open is when I realize like, are you telling me that instead of owning a house, I can own an apartment building? Like what? I didn't know you could do that, right? Like nobody tell us like we can eventually do that, right? For me, it's like if you own an apartment building is somebody who has at least $10 million in their bank account just sitting there and
And now, here's someone you want to hear from, our sponsor.
For over 15 years, Skyline Title has been a trusted name in Texas real estate. From first-time homebuyers to seasoned investors, our team ensures a smooth, reliable closing experience every time. Backed by a decade of partnerships and proven success, we take pride in protecting your biggest investment, your home. Visit SkylineHTX.com to learn more.
retired person who built a $1 billion company, right? So nobody really tell us that it's possible that we can do it. I mean, all I knew it was that apartment buildings were owned by insurance agencies, by the bank, right? Because we're saving money on the bank, but the bank is not gonna keep the money there. Like the bank goes and buys real estate. Same thing for insurance and all this, yeah, life insurance, different insurance. um so I was like, wow, so you're telling me that I can also kind of like own a little percentage of this apartment building. So yeah, it gives you the bigger picture. Yeah, any thoughts on that? And I'm gonna start bringing up questions for her or for me, guys. If you have questions, this is kind of like a real estate for beginners. How do we start and all these things? So um I'll get back to you, Anisha, but if you guys have any other questions, real estate for beginners for any of us, please unmute yourself. Any other things that you wanna add, Anisha?
No, like I said, just don't be afraid to ask difficult questions. I just touched the tip of the iceberg of what so many of you probably have to ask.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot. Any questions, guys, about real estate or about these amazing projects that Anisha have and that she's working on? So tell us what's next for you. What projects do you have coming up, and what goals do you have with this agency that you're building?
Mainly to just connect with a lot of different people, to uplift minority voices, underrepresented voices. Right now, I'm a communications associate for Impact Investment nonprofit. Apart from that, I'm producing multiple independent films, constantly looking for funding, hence my interest in She. So yeah, just on the journey of day to day cold calling people, cold emailing, and trying to make sure that our projects get seen.
You know, that's one of the things that I realized when I came across real estate and the commercial side of real estate is who doesn't need money for their projects, right? Either real estate or just your projects. Like when I was, networking and attending all these events, I realized like everybody has deals and everybody's buying real estate assets because that's where we are, right? But like the reality is like all of us are doing projects or just we're involved in different projects. And I'm like, who doesn't need money on their deals, right? So that's actually what helped me start in real estate, but just starting where I was, right? Like I realized who doesn't need money for their deals. If I become really good at raising capital, bringing investors, I can work with whoever I want, right? I can do a partnership with massive capital, or I can do a partnership with you when you do all the films and I'll bring the investors, like it's just so like the sky is the limit. Like if you I mean you already master all the how to do it, right? The behind the scenes and the process of getting it done. So, but also that's something for you to start exploring, like how do you start bringing investors? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, we've done a lot of different fundraisers, visited venues, gone to film mixers, applied to grants, fellowships, so we could do presentations in front of distributors. It's all about getting in front of the right crowd and doing the research to get there. So yeah, lots of pitch meetings that I've been in, trying to sell my story, and slowly we got there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's right. Like just being in front of the right people and sharing your message, you're very very good, well spoken, but just like sharing the message that you really want, people, how do you want to make them feel and how do you want to touch them, right? Because it's a lot of bringing money. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are left brainers and they want the numbers and how everything is gonna work, structure everything. But there's a lot of people who are just like they want to make sure they trust you, and they want to make sure that they want to feel good about the project that they are involved in, and how that make them feel. Was that difficult for you to start public speaking and pitching and all that?
Yeah, it was definitely tough. It's something you have to practice and get into a lot of speeches in your mirror, trying to drive up confidence. But yeah, definitely had my slip ups. It's something that's taken a lot of time. But yeah, if you are confident about the message you want to convey, you should be able to say it. And I think that's something that's really important for anyone that's trying to get anything made or created. Your ability to pitch it and stand and be confident is 70% of what will make you sell what you're looking for.
Yes. I mean, when you sound confident, people believe you, right? Even if it's okay to say, like, I don't have the answer, or I'm not, like, let me find that information for you. That's a great question. But when you really sound sure about what you're doing, when you have confidence, and most important, when you really believe what you're doing, right? Because I tell people, like, this is not sales. Like, for me, real estate is just like, I'm just sharing my journey. I'm just telling people why I invest. I tell people, like, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, like, I have my money in real estate. This is why I do it, right? So when you start sharing with people, like, why it's important, why do you believe in it, it's a completely different ballgame, because people who are interested, they start saying, like, yeah, I'm also interested. How can I learn more? I actually, been thinking about that, or just they just connect with you. So and that actually brings another question that I have for you, because I mean, you work with a lot of social media, the social media part of things as well. And I mean, I believe that everybody has a personal brand, either if you post or you don't, either if you have a business or you don't. Like, people are looking at you, and that's your brand, right? Whatever you're showing is your brand. So why do you think it's important for people to build their brand and just share their message? What are they doing?
I think it's really important to have comps, to have other people or individuals that you look up to as role models, to have them like to kind of emulate, not to copy, but emulate in the way that you are inspired by them. Should hope that you inspire other people in that same way. Whatever content I release or make is to fill a gap in the market, is to be unique, not to add to something that's already redundant. Um, like be unique, have your own delivery, and just be authentic to yourself, and your brand comes together good because you find commonalities in your content naturally. So as long as you're authentic, your brand will find its colors and you will find your themes.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it is super, super important. For me, for so many years, I never shared anything about my story, how I started, and my challenges, my barriers, all that. But once I started sharing, like, so many people connected with me, and so many people said, like, thank you so much for sharing, right? When you start kind of like showing the vulnerable side, people start, connecting with you in a way that, okay, maybe we have different challenges or hardships, but the reality is, like, we all are struggling, or nobody has it together, right? So when they start seeing that side of you, and when they start just, it's just like a different way of connecting with people. And that's what we whenever we're, sharing. I really would love to hear your input, guys. If you have questions, Cindy, Elizabeth, I see here some people. Yeah, just what are you guys saying? Any questions for Anisha?
Anisha, I like how you said, as long as you're authentic, your brand will find its color and themes. So that was meaningful to me because coming from Massive Masters, they always say, find your brand and get your brand out there. And I had no idea what they were talking about. I thought, but what am I selling? I don't. So to know that it's about who you are and um, your authenticity, and that's your brand, that's who you are. I like how you put color and themes in there because I like colors. I write everything in colors, and it means something to me. Um, Jazmin, how long have you been with Massive Capital, and what's the start story with them for you?
Great question. I always love to talk about that. I started with Massive Capital since the beginning. I mentioned that I was doing land, and I continue doing land, but I was just doing land, and I was like, what else can I do in real estate? So I started exploring multifamily. I came across multifamily. I'm like, this is what I want to do, and I started connecting with everybody. Connections is for every business, right? Connections. So I started networking, and as I came across Mike Bailey. He's one of the principals of Massive Capital. And I connected with a lot of people, but when I met Mike, I was like, like he, I really felt like he had a good heart. I mean, he has a good heart. And I felt like he was interested on my success as well, right? I felt like he was somebody who could really take me under the wing and, do this. So I told him, like, I want to get in multifamily. I have no experience. I don't know anything about multifamily, but my background is in sales. I have a couple business degrees. I think I can add value to you doing investor relations. One of my, the things that I share all the time is start where you are with what you have and don't take for granted your skill set. So I told him, the things that I could do for him. And, when I met him, back then he closed on 3 multifamily properties in a period of 1 month. All of them happened back to back. So when that happened, like, he was overwhelmed. He had a lot of things to do, and I told him very straightforward, like, this is what I can do. This is kind of like the only thing that I can do right now, right? Because I don't have any experience. I don't know anything about this, but I'm really willing to learn. This is what I want to do. So that's how everything started, Cindy. Thank you for that question, because I approached to him like the lesson here is like nobody's gonna come and tell you they wanna be part of this multi-million-dollar portfolio that I'm about to create. Like nobody. Like when I met him, he was starting, and it was kind of like a loop of fate for both of us, right? Like him, just saying like, okay, yeah, I do need help, but I don't know what I need help with. It's just overwhelming. And for me, it's just like, I think it's going somewhere. And we both have, the willing to work, to figure it out, to commit, and, looking for each other's success, right? So that's how everything started with a Massive Capital. And I was so fortunate to be there since the beginning, right? So at the beginning, it was just 3 principals. It was the principals. And now, Mike, when I met him a couple months after, he got the opportunity to start working with Sharar and Sanjay on another deal. And after that, that's when they say, like, let's build a brand, let's unite forces. Uh, None of them wanted to play solo anymore. Like, they wanted to build something bigger, right? So that's how Massive Capital started. And I was already with Mike. So I was like, I guess this is a combo deal, right? Like, I guess we're in this together. And, I saw Massive Capital from building a CRM, hiring a virtual assistant, you know, hiring a digital marketing company to what it is today, right? So I was part of the whole scaling of the business. So that's how everything happens, Cindy.
Um, to follow up on that, I keep hearing, like from Olivia too, who's another person involved in Massive Masters, to always add value to someone or to the project, and just to jump in and add value some way, somehow, because nobody's going to ask you. They don't know what you can do. What where did you meet Mike? What events were you attending? And I mean, how did that all come together? Details.
Yeah, so the events that I was attending, it was straightforward real estate, right? When I found out about multifamily, I attended every single event. And there's a lot of people who are doing multifamily: Radcliffe, Brad Sumrag, Michael Blanc, Grant Cardone, like every single event I was attending, because I was looking for somebody. At the beginning, you're gonna go wider and meet everybody, but once you find your people, you just want to go deeper. So at the beginning, go wider and then go deeper. So once I met Mike Bailey, and this is just a message for everybody, like, start with the skill set that you have. The beauty about real estate is that your skill, like whatever you're doing as a professional or you were doing, like all the skill set is transferable. For me, I was like, if I wait until I understand underwriting and all the financial side, all the numbers, like it's gonna take me forever, right? So for me, I'm more like people person. I can talk to people, I can talk to investors, I can show up to every single event that you tell me. And at the beginning, I took that for granted. I thought for everybody could build a brand. I thought everybody could talk to investors. I thought everybody could attend 6 events a week. Like I thought, for me, it's like if I can do it, I mean, probably that's not a big deal, right? But the point here is like something that for you is very natural and you think everybody can do it, for other people is they can do it and they need you. That's why it's important to understand. When Olivia says like add value, you only know how you can add value. For me, is I can talk to people all day long, either on the phone, on events. That's what I can do. Other people is the analysis part, asset management, finding properties. So only you know what you're good at, what background you have, right? Like my background was on sales and then my business degree. So I was like, I think my degree was on creation and development of companies. So I was like, I think I can help you ramp up something, and on this at the same time use my sales background to start talking to people, to start talking about investments and why I'm doing it. So it depends on what you are doing. But one of the keys when I met Mike is that I told him what I could do for him, right? Because yeah, we get a lot of people who come to us and it's like, how can I add value to you? And I'm like, I don't know. You're just giving me more homework. I don't know what your superpower is. I don't know what you're good at. But when you say this is what I can do, and I think you need this, or I see a gap on your business on this or on your whatever, this is what I can do, it's a different conversation. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I really want to, who is new? I know this is the first time that you join us, right, Cindy? And
Yes.
anybody else who is new, please introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we can wrap this up.
Do you want me to introduce
Yes,
myself?
yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, you're new. So tell
Yes.
us a little bit about how you got here.
I followed my husband here. It's his dream to own commercial real estate. He didn't want to own one house at a time. He wanted to own more. We do have a business, it's a cabinet factory basically in northern Nevada. So we are working on, and I like what you said, scaling that business first before we get distracted with this shiny new thing. very difficult not to get distracted, but we're still working in and on our business while we are learning how to invest and do commercial real estate through Massive Masters, and we joined in April of 2024. So
Nice.
we have a storage facility here that we closed on in December. It is now paying for itself, so we're slowly getting that up to the point where we can sell it. So, and then we are on a storage team, and Rob is doing coaching Dallas 6 storage team right now. So I support my husband, and that's why I'm here, is to learn more and more and more about the grammar of commercial real estate so I can ask him good questions and learn right behind him and with him. So
Yeah. I love that. I think it's super important to just support your partner, right? You know, one of the things about she is not like I tell people it's not like we hate men and we are just this is a feminist group, like, but this is like how do we become better versions of ourselves so we can come home and support, right? And I love that he wants to do this and you're supporting him and you are here to learn more. So kudos to that for being supportive. And you know, I love that you guys are kind of like scaling the business. That's one of the things that I wanted to share, like that's probably your superpower right there, like you are around all these chiropractors. You say chiropractors, right?
cabinets, commercial cabinetry.
Oh, commercial cabinet, sorry. But
Yeah.
you know, like you come across a lot of, you know, we all have different networks. Just talking to other business owners, talking to other commercial real estate owners, right? Like they have different assets. Just sharing what you're doing and telling why are you now investing into storage facilities and why are you transitioning and what it has done for you, right? The fact that you close your property, now this property is paying by itself, like that's amazing. So when you start just sharing why are you doing it, what you know what it has done for you, you will start a lot, you know, you start getting a lot of interest and people telling me tell me more how you do it, how I can start investing with you in one of your projects, right? So you know, and that's how you start, you know, funding your other deals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
My background is I was a teacher until my first son was born, and then I homeschooled them all the way through high school and supported my husband. So the classic stay-at-home wife and mom for 20 years. So
Awesome. That's awesome. That's not easy to homeschool kids. So kudos to you. Thank you so much for being here. Do we have anybody else new today? Um,
Hey,
Kathy has.
Jazmin.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. So I appreciate so much of what has been said today. Um, the same thing that resonated with the lady who just spoke, as far as uh, the branding, um, and how, you know, doing what you do and your branding will start to, I don't know, she had such great wording, like develop its own colors or whatever.
Mhm.
I was in education for 30 years. I just recently retired. Upon retiring, I did have a leadership role in education, and a lot of what I did working with the people that I worked with had to do with one, with branding, building and branding themselves as educators, and just really not being shy about spotlighting what they do and their impact, even if it is in their classroom. The classroom is super important. By the way, my husband and I, we don't have any kids, but if we did, I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So since we didn't, I didn't need to be a stay-at-home mom, but I commend you for being able to do that. We are very, very new to real estate investing. Currently, we are working on um, basically one family homes, and starting there. We started with a real estate investment team here in the Houston area, but they operate throughout Texas, and it's been great. But eventually, I really have a strong desire to get into some commercial real estate investing. And my parents, they're not really big into real estate investing, but they do. They have fixed and flipped, and they also currently own a small apartment complex. So I think that experience has kind of just left it open for me to have that interest. And so eventually I see myself involved in different ways with commercial marketing as well as just single family home also. So this is actually my second call with She, but I went to a She event, I think earlier in the month, and it was pivotal. I really enjoyed it. And I'm just always one who really loves and thrives with women fellowship. And going to that event, I really felt that. And so I thank you for that, for offering it and opening it up to more than just people who were already in She. So that made a difference to me. And yeah, I just thank you for that. So
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I enjoy meeting you there and then for us connecting after the event. So, kudos to you because you're starting. I have told you that like you are already starting with single family with all the big dog network is amazing, is powerful. Just use it, right? Like everything
yeah,
is good if you use it. So use it, start from where you are with what you have, and things, it takes one deal to jump into the commercial. It takes one partnership, so just keep moving forward, and thank you so much for being here. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. I'm super excited for another call. We have very, very amazing speakers coming up, so stay tuned. And we will be back the first week of July. I mean, yeah, right? I mean, August, right? So this is the third. So thank you so much. We will see you next Tuesday. If you join Trevor on the Transformational Tuesday, if you have questions about investing, don't forget to book a call with me. Join our Facebook group, join our WhatsApp group, and we will see you. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great night. Bye bye.